Expectations of an economic rebound. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because I want to have a look at this article from Yahoo Finance which is discussing, Sydney buoyed by a lockdown roadmap. So focusing on the fact that there is a roadmap out of lockdown and, this is potentially leading towards expectations of an economic rebound, bouncing back. Now, we saw this last time when the market crashed, it bounced back. There's all these dire predictions. Remember the RBA modeling 40% house price crashes? Even bank executives were selling their houses. Houses from the banks, they were predicting 20%, 10%. 5%, any percentage you wanted, you could go. We had a percentage for you. You get a percentage off. You get a percentage off. It was everywhere in the media. I suspect more and more that was done with intention to, give public support for the massive amount of government intervention in the economy. So I'll bring this up here. We can see the GDP falling. That was the recession. And we can see home builder, one of the mechanisms used to fuel the economy, to keep us from going into an even deeper recession. Now, housing, construction, that's the piñata that our government hits when they want economic stimulus, when they want economic stimulus goodies to come out. They don't want a housing correction. As much as our political class will lament housing affordability, they don't want a serious correction to make it affordable because, that's going to have impacts on the wealth effect and it'll flow through to so many other parts of our economy. So much of Aussie's wealth is tied up in housing that it's kind of dangerous. So let's look at this article here because we'll have to see if the economy is going to bounce back again. So, New South Wales government's roadmap out of lockdown has put a smile back on Sydney-siders after months of coronavirus restrictions. The latest ANZ Roy Morgan consumer survey found confidence among Sydney-siders jumped 10.6%, lifting the nationwide confidence index by 3.1%. So they're getting more confident. And that makes sense. I mean, if you're stuck at home, if you're locked down, if you can't even go more than 5 kilometers from your house, and then you're open up, you're free again, you're going to hit the road. You're going to go out and party, have a good time. Restrictions will ease in the country's most populous state once the double vaccination coverage rate reaches 70%, expected to be around mid-October. Now, this has to happen. It would be political suicide if it doesn't. I guarantee you there are people out there who are just getting vaccinated who probably aren't even worried. They're just doing it to get this done. I'd bet a carton. You know what? I'd bet 2 cartons, and it would be not the VB or the 4X, it'd be one of the posh imported beers. The Beck's or something. That's cheaper than VB. So it's currently close to 47%. Consumer confidence, a pointer to future household spending, also rose 6.2% in Victoria, which also remains in lockdown, but fell 3.2% in Queensland after new infections emerged in the state last week. Now, isn't that funny? You've got, of course, you've got the states that have hit harder. So consumer confidence will be down in Victoria and it will be down in New South Wales. Here in Queensland, we had 5 cases. It was one girl at a local school up the road from me and her family were infected. So consumer confidence has taken a hit here. That makes a sense. But, we went to Bribie Island on the weekend, and you wouldn't even tell there's a global pandemic going on with just, how many people were there lounging. There's odd people wearing masks outside. I don't think you even need to anymore. Water was bloody cold. It was beautiful, though. Consumer inflation expectations eased slightly to 4.5% after hitting the highest level in nearly 3 years at 4.7% in the previous week. Well, that's because you're seeing things get more expensive. For our car trip, I filled up the Kia. It nearly cost me $100, guys, to fill up a tank of petrol. Well, no, probably 3/4 of a tank of petrol. Petrol's getting expensive. Research indicates that expectations tend to follow developments in petrol prices, and the headline CPI, ANZ head of Australian economics, David Plank, said. The consumer price index did strike an annual inflation rate of 3.8% in the June quarter, its highest level in 13 years. This is the thing, it's expectations I mean, you can't really ask people what they expect inflation to be. I mean, you can, what number, but we suck with numbers. People are terrible with numbers and percentages. You can't say, I think inflation will go up exactly 4.95%. That's rubbish. You're going, everything's getting more expensive. It's definitely going to go up. That's the measure. And it feels like it. You're noticing that every time you go shopping. Now, the issue for me is I still have hardwired my brain to all the prices of goods and food when I first moved out as a teenager. When I first started going to uni, actually just after high school. So I'm shocked every time I go shopping with Rachel and see how expensive stuff is. It's best I don't do it. Anyway, this was largely the result of the unwinding of stimulus measures introduced during the depths of last year's recession, and price pressures are expected to ease again. So they're thinking it's only transitory. We'll have to see. The Reserve Bank of Australia did not expect inflation to be sustainably between 2 to 3% target before 2024. Petrol prices rose to the highest level in 20 months last week. The RBA Governor Philip Lowe may give some further insights into the central bank's thinking on inflation when he gives a lunchtime address to the Annika Foundation. Dr. Lowe expects the economy will rebound by the end of the year after the impact of having half the population in lockdown battling the coronavirus is felt in the September quarter. Following last week's monthly RBA board meeting, the governor warned lockdowns associated with the Delta variant will see the unemployment rate rise in coming months. But he said the setbacks to Australia's economic expansion is expected to be only temporary. The Delta outbreak is expected to delay but not derail the recovery. As vaccination rates increase further and restrictions are eased, the economy should bounce back, Dr. Lowe said. The National Australia Bank will also release its monthly business survey for August later on Tuesday. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. It's coming forward. So what's the solution or the takeaway to this one, everyone? I can't say I'm at all surprised that people are optimistic with a roadmap. That's the issue. They want a path. They want some certainty, even if it's an illusion of certainty. So long as there's a path that you can plan forward and it can, even if it gets completely derailed, even if you can at least plan for it, that's going to give people confidence and that's going to give people a greater sense of certainty. What do you think? Do you think we'll see an economic rebound? Do you think it will bounce back? Or will, the fact that international tourism still isn't existing, that, iron ore prices are falling, do you think they'll make a big impact? I suspect, regardless of what happens, forget about overseas, just the fact that people are free again, you'll see a spike. But if that actually lasts a long time, or if it's just a spark, that's to be seen. As always, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. Sign up for SelfWealth or Stake. Use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Till the end of this month, if you sign up for Stake, they're actually setting up Australian trading, $0 until 22 if you get in the beta, and then $3, guys, for brokerage fees. And those are chess shares. So it's identified with you. It's not a third party holding them on your behalf. So I'll put the link down below and have a look at that, guys. You can also support us out by buying our merch or using Gold Pass or PayPal. Take care. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.